Hey guys, let me know what you think by liking and commenting, and it really helps me and this channel out when you subscribe, so please click that button. Thanks a bunch.
Hey everybody, lately I acquired this Marklin Haribo BR185 pretty cheap because parts of it were broken and I managed to fix those, and a couple little parts are missing, but it looks really good and it's in great shape. Now this actually has an early version of the Marklin Motorola decoder chip in it, so it doesn't have sound though. Now, normally what I would do is I would actually just replace everything with a LokSound decoder and go from there. But if you look, these little circuit strips carry the information for the lights, and they are put into the decoder board here. So if I were to destroy or take out this decoder board, I'd have to figure out before I did that which line carries which, and it'd be really difficult to sort of put this back together. Either that or I'd have to run new wires or something, and I just don't want to do that. Now, they did actually make an 8-pin decoder plug-in where you just pull these here and you put in the new decoder plug board, and then you plug a decoder into it and pop these back in there. But those are really difficult to find, and when you do, they're also really expensive. So what to do. And for a while, I couldn't figure it out. I just ran this without sound. And I have one more of these, actually, a Siemens Hercules. I'll show you that one briefly later. It has the same issue. But now that these are shipping again, and this is a LokSound FX, it doesn't have any motor controls, but it actually does all the sounds you need. And I bought the 8-pin version with wires because, I've got to integrate this onto this decoder board. It really solves two problems at once. Number one, it's cheaper than buying a whole new motorized decoder, but also I get to keep the one that's in there. I don't have to worry about what to do with these circuit strips, so it's a real win-win for me to use this product. Well, if we take a look at it, it doesn't really look any different than any other decoder. It's about the same size as a Lockpilot. Lockpilot basically has the motorized controls and the function controls without the sound. So I suppose this is its inverse cousin or something like that, but it's no different. Actually, it has a lot of these, even though you think, well, it's going to plug in, it actually has a gray and orange to handle the motor plus and minus. Actually, those handle just different functions. I'm going to use my dual sugar cube speaker setup here instead of using the built-in, there's a built-in baffle for a speaker, but I think these work a little bit better, and they'll take advantage of using the shell as sort of a voice box, and I think it should project the sound a little bit better than this will. The sound will actually come right out of the wheel wells, so I don't think it'll be blocked at all. I think it should sound just that much better. So let's go ahead and prep this by cutting off all of these wires that we're just not going to need. Just never going to use those. In fact, all I'm going to do is I think I will put a separate reversing lamp, but that's it. So I really won't need any of these other auxiliary wires. So we'll just clip them out. And we will also go ahead. We don't need this plug at all since there's nowhere to plug it. We're just going to go ahead and cut that right off. We can use it in another application. It's my recommendation that when you do what I'm going to do, that you put in a dual pin wire connector. And that way, if for some reason you need to program this separately, or you need to put it back on the lock programmer by itself, you can just pull it out separately from the chassis and shell and just put it back onto the lock programmer using alligator clips or something like that. I'll show you what I mean here in a little bit. So the only real wires we're going to need are the red and black. These are the engineers and conductor side track pickups respectively, and we're going to need the speaker wires, and that's it. And actually I'm going to put in a tail light and a headlight, or basically a red lamp to mark that it's backing up. But other than that, I'm not going to use any of the other ones. And what's nice about this type is it's already red and black, so you have the exact colors that you need when you wire these in, so it'll just be perfect for this application. Okie dokie, let's go through our process here. We'll get these wires stripped, and then what we'll do is I'll just tie these together. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. You can use those crushable or fusible quick connects if you want. However you want to do it, it's fine. I do this kind of old school, and I just tie them together and solder them and put shrink tube. I mean, you just got to make sure they're insulated so that they don't short. Now, one thing to remember is I'm doing this with a Marklin Motorola decoder, but this will work fine with DCC also. But actually, there's one nice thing about using Marklin Motorola, in that I can just address this decoder only with DCC, which means actually I won't really have to pull it to do anything to it. Now, if you use DCC, you can make them the same address, but anytime you try to program one, it's going to program both, but that actually might be fine. Now, one thing you can do if you're using DCCs only is that you can give the decoder a separate address from the DCC decoder that actually runs your locomotive, and just simply use your controller's consisting function to run them together as a multiple unit set. But I don't have to worry about that since like I said, my main controller here is Marklin Motorola, and this chip will accept both. So I think that's going to work pretty well. Get these together, as soon as we get them together. All right, so this is what our rig looks like right now. We are going to program the decoder. If you don't have a lock programmer, order your FX chip from somewhere that will pre-program it with the correct sounds for you. A lot of places do that. They may charge you a couple bucks, $5, a couple bucks, something like that. But they will do it for you, and that way you don't have to worry about feeding it, and you can just program the rest of it through CV settings. I don't know if this thing's supposed to be a first or second gen BR185. I don't care. I'll just download the first generation one, and I will load that onto the chip. So download it, go ahead and open it, and we will go ahead and test run this with the default diesel sound. So when we do that, we'll leave it on address 3. Simply go into the driver's cab, go ahead and run it, hit the sound, and what do you know? We've got sound. So it proves it works. Look, I'll accelerate it. You don't even need any feedback from the motor. It's specifically designed to do this. And once again, all I've done is alligator clip the 2 leads into my lock programmer module, and that's all you have to do. I'm just simulated being on a track now. I know that my Marklin Motorola address is 24, so I've got to change the address to 24 so that when my central station tries to run this Haribo BR185, it'll actually go to 24, and that'll run both the FX and the motor controller. All right, that's perfect. And you need to go in and make sure that if you're doing what I'm doing, that both DCC protocol and Marklin Motorola are on. And I will now set the lock programmer controller to Motorola so that it sends to both decoders at the same time. All right, here we go. We'll go ahead and tin these so that we can connect them directly. Now, I'm going to connect mine directly to the controller, but if you want, you can connect it to wherever the wires are coming in from the track. Either way, you got to make sure that you're doing it correctly. So in this particular case, I have a Marklin controller. They use brown for the conductor side, and red is the same for the engineer side. In a way, it may or may not matter because the FX doesn't care which way it's running the motor, but if you are going to use some of the light outputs or any of the auxiliary functions from the FX decoder, then you probably want to make sure that you get the red and black correct. So here's what this looks like. Again, I've soldered it directly into where the pickups go into the Marklin Motorola controller. All right, this will now be the moment of truth. I'll go ahead and plug this in, and now I'm going to put this thing on the track so that when I send a signal to it, the only signal that'll be coming in will be going to Marklin Motorola address 24, and it should run both the Marklin Motorola controller that was in here, and that'll run the motion and the lights, and the sound will be coming from the LokSound FX. So if I've done everything right, that's what will happen here. So let me just paste these in, and we'll give it a shot here in one moment. And I'll go ahead and tidy this up a little bit so that it doesn't get into the drivetrain. So that's what it looks like. I think it'll fit pretty well. So here we go. First, I'll run it without sound to verify that the Marklin Motorola controller is getting signal, and then I'll do both at the same time.
I'll button this up to make sure it all fits right, and then we'll try it with the shell on, and we'll see if the lights and everything work. And I'll pull this apart one more time to put in the reverse lamps. All right, now that works perfectly. Now, probably I'll have to do some adjustments as far as the top end, the top speed, and how long it takes to break, that sort of thing. And I can actually send DCC signals to address 24, and it'll completely ignore the Marklin Motorola controller that's in here, and it'll simply work on the FX decoder. And to get the timing right for the braking and acceleration, I just need to change CV values like 3, 4, and 5, and those will make sure everything sync up properly. But even out of the box, it runs pretty well. One thing you're going to want to do if you run a Marklin Central Station and perhaps an ESU is you want to turn off M4, which is MFX protocol, because what will happen if you don't, the Central Station will automatically give it an address. It'll actually read the M4/MFX protocol first, and you don't want that. You want to actually send signals directly to the Marklin Motorola protocol so that you can get to the FX decoder and the Marklin Digital controller at the same time. I tried to make this as quick as possible for you so that you can get up and running yourself if you want to make some of your non-sound DCC or Marklin Motorola controlled locomotive sound. Like I said before, I had one more that uses this same Marklin Motorola controller with these circuit strips, and it is an Alex Arriva Hercules. So I did the exact same thing with it. And so now I've got two of these that they didn't have sound before, but now they have sound. I'll show you the rest of this Haribo one, and I'll run the Hercules for you too. Like always, I wish you happy model railroading and, continued health and safety. And hey, please like and comment if you want to, but it really helps me out when you subscribe. I'd appreciate if you did any of those things. Certainly love you if you did all of them. So I'll look forward to you next time. I'll have another video out hopefully within a couple days. Until then, take care, take it easy, so long.
Train approaching. Please remain behind yellow line.